This free site replaces Photoshop. No watermarks. Picture this. It's midnight. You're using a borrowed laptop because your main one is out for repair. You get an email with the subject line, "Urgent, can you fix this image tonight?" It's a client you've been trying to impress, so you open Photoshop only to hit a wall. It won't launch without an update, the subscription check fails, and you're staring at a message telling you to log in. This is the moment you realize something about modern software. It's not yours. You're renting it. We've normalized this. Netflix, Spotify, Photoshop. We pay monthly for everything, even tools we only use occasionally. And that one simple edit? It's blocked because of a subscription model. Here's the thing. Most people don't need every tool Photoshop offers. Paying for the full Adobe Creative Suite when all you need is one edit a week is like renting a limousine to pick up a single bag of groceries. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could open a browser, edit your image and export it? No watermarks, no subscriptions, no drama. Today I'm going to share a tool that quietly replaces Photoshop for most everyday editing. We'll look at why it works, real stories of people switching, what life looks like after 30 days, and what this shift means for creators everywhere. Photoshop is powerful, that's not up for debate. It's the industry standard for a reason. Advanced features, deep integrations, professional-grade workflows. But most users do not need high-end professionals editing magazine covers or cinematic posters. They're creators, students, small businesses, or freelancers doing quick routine edits, removing backgrounds, cropping and resizing images, fixing exposure, adding text. For those tasks, Photoshop is overkill and expensive. $30 a month may not sound like much, but over a year, that's $360. Over 3 years, more than $1,000. For a tool that many people open maybe once a week. Then there's the friction. Installing updates at the worst possible time. Licensing errors when switching devices. The anxiety of wondering if a quick job will turn into a 30-minute wait for an update. The bigger issue? Subscription fatigue. We're paying monthly for everything: music, movies, project management tools, editing software. And once we start, we rarely stop, even when our usage drops. So the real question isn't whether Photoshop is good. It is. The question is whether it's necessary for what you actually do. Sarah is a design student. Like most students, her deadlines are brutal and her budget tight. One night she's finishing a poster for class, due at midnight. She's exhausted, half her coffee is cold, but she's proud of how it's coming together. Then, right in the middle of adding text, Photoshop freezes and flashes a message. Your trial has ended. Please subscribe to continue. Her stomach drops. It's 11:42 p.m. The campus computer lab, where Photoshop is installed, is closed. Panic sets in. She texts a friend who replies, "Try Photopea, it's free." Sarah opens it in her browser. Within a minute, she's editing again. The interface feels familiar enough to keep her momentum. She finishes her poster with minutes to spare and submits on time. The next day, she realizes something. She doesn't need Photoshop for 80% of her assignments. She keeps using Photopea, not because it's free, but because it removes stress. No license errors, no lab hours, no begging professors for extensions because her software locked up. Alex runs an Etsy shop selling handmade jewelry. In e-commerce, photos are everything. Clear, bright, professional-looking images mean more sales. For years, Alex paid for Photoshop but mostly used it to remove backgrounds and tweak lighting. One slow month, that subscription fee hit differently. $30 was a lot when sales were down. A friend suggested Photopea. Skeptical, Alex tried it anyway. That morning, he edited a full batch of product photos in his browser. Background removal, color correction, even a quick collage. No installs, no license issues. By lunch, his store looked refreshed. He used the saved money to run a small Instagram ad campaign which drove new traffic and sales. Today, Alex keeps Photoshop as a backup for rare, complex jobs, but he no longer pays for it month after month. 90% of his workflow happens in Photopea. And when he does need Photoshop, he uses a pay-per-use option at his local co-working lab. For his day-to-day editing, he's free from subscription costs and can edit from any computer anywhere with zero stress. Marcus travels constantly, filming content for his YouTube channel. He relies on his laptop to edit thumbnails and make quick image adjustments on the go. One trip, his laptop dies and all he can borrow from the hotel is a Chromebook. Normally that would end his editing session. Photoshop doesn't run on Chromebooks. But Marcus opens Photopea in a browser, uploads his image, makes the edits he needs, and exports it within minutes. No panic, no scrambling for an alternative device. That single experience changed how Marcus works. Now, Photopea is part of his travel workflow, not just a backup. He knows he can edit anywhere, even on borrowed or low-power machines, and never be blocked by licensing or hardware limitations. So, what exactly is Photopea? It's a browser-based photo editor that supports layered Photoshop files, text, filters, and common effects, all without an install. It works on almost any device with an internet connection. If you've used Photoshop, the layout will feel familiar. Many of the same shortcuts even work. The difference? There's no subscription, no watermark, no trial expired message. It feels almost like the difference between Microsoft Word and Google Docs. One is powerful but heavy, the other is flexible, fast, and accessible from anywhere. For most creators, Photopea covers the majority of tasks they actually do, removing backgrounds, basic photo adjustments, adding text, prepping graphics for social media. It's not a full Photoshop replacement for professionals with complex pipelines, but it's perfect for students, small business owners, and content creators who just need quick, reliable edits. What happens after using Photopea for a full month? At first, most people are skeptical. They think, can a free browser tool really handle my work? But after a few days, the doubts fade. You stop thinking about subscriptions, you stop worrying about license checks and device installs. Sarah, the student, now edits on any computer she can find. Her workflow isn't chained to one machine. Alex, the small business owner, uses his saved subscription money to upgrade his camera gear instead. Marcus, the travel vlogger, no longer stresses about losing access on the road. For many, the change is emotional as much as financial. There's less anxiety, fewer roadblocks, and more focus on the actual creative work. 30 days later, most people say the same thing. Why didn't I do this sooner? Photopea isn't an isolated case. Browser-based tools are reshaping how we work. Canva for design, Figma for UI, Clipchamp for video, and now Photopea for photo editing. 5 years ago, editing layered Photoshop files in a browser was unthinkable. Today it's instant and free. This shift is democratizing creativity. For creators it means freedom. Freedom to work on any device. Freedom to spend money on gear instead of software. Freedom from subscription lock-ins that nickel and dime users. The takeaway? The future of creative work isn't locked to one expensive program on one powerful computer. It's flexible, portable, and often free. And that's good news for anyone who values speed and accessibility over paying for features they'll never use. Here's the simple math. $30 a month equals $360 a year. Over 3 years, that's more than $1,000. What would you do with that extra money? Buy a new camera, upgrade your lighting, take a weekend getaway? Time is money too. Browser-based editing means no installs, no updates, and no waiting on license checks. Those saved minutes add up to hours. Hours you can spend creating, not troubleshooting. If you're a professional designer producing magazine covers, billboard ads, or high-volume print work, you'll still want Photoshop. Its advanced color profiles, automation features, and plugins are unmatched. But for 90% of everyday users, students, small businesses, casual creators, Photopea handles the work without monthly bills or friction. So what do you think? Would you ditch Photoshop, or at least try a free option? Here's my challenge. Next time you need to make a quick edit, open Photopea and try it. Then come back and tell me. Did it replace Photoshop for you? Know another free tool that deserves a shout-out? Drop it in the comments. If it's good, I might feature it in a future video. If you found this helpful, hit like, share it with someone still paying Adobe every month, and subscribe because the next video, we're looking at how fake reviews trick you, and the 10-second fix to spot them. You don't want to miss it. This content is for educational purposes only, and not sponsored by Photopea or Adobe. Software features, steps, and interfaces can change over time, and your experience may vary depending on your setup. Always check official sources before making decisions based on software features or performance.